Hello, I'm Frank McShane with Square Peg Consulting at the Whiteboard. I'm a supply chain cash guide, and these are the components of the business-to-business supply chain as I see it. And there are opportunities to generate more cash in every part of this process. Let me show you what I mean. Today we're going to focus on an aspect of the buy portion of our supply chain process, and it's about RFPs. And we're going to call it How to RFP, or Request for Proposal. So what I've seen in my experience is two different approaches, and so I want to share those with you, and there's one that I would recommend you try more so than the other. The first is an approach where the buying company focuses on and designs the solution that they want companies to bid on and provide proposals on. That's the first one. The second one is where the buying company focuses on defining the problem that they're trying to solve and asks for solutions from the providers, the competitors for the process, for the proposal. And so there are impacts of both of these. When the buying company's people, particularly their engineers, focus on the solution and defining the solution, usually down to great detail, what's left is to compete on is labor, materials, and time. So you get a very narrow window of competitiveness among the responders to the RFP. Right? This is about what they can, because we've told them, here's the fence we've built, and we want you to stay within that fence, and it has to look exactly this way. And it's almost an innate tendency of engineers to define and design a solution down to the nth detail, and this is all we're left to compete with. Whereas over here, if we focused our engineering talent and our business talent on defining the problem that we have to solve, and certainly giving some general guidelines, has to meet certain compliance requirements or legal requirements, etc. What you end up with here then is you get a broad range of ideas and approaches and a broad range of costs to choose from. And you may end up, this one typically leads to the lowest cost. That's usually the outcome of this approach, is we typically choose the lowest cost proposal. Whereas this one typically leads to the highest value proposal, even if the cost is higher, but the return justifies it. So the idea or the approach that comes in here is something we may not have thought of when we're the buying company thinking of our approaches and solutions, but it's actually a much better approach, and it may cost more, but it's going to deliver a lot more value. Maybe in a sooner return, a higher level of return, an overall improvement in the business. That's typically what you get on this side. So unless the legal and compliance requirements are such that you have to define the solution very narrowly, my recommendation is to use this approach and really spend the buying company's time on defining the problem that you're trying to solve, and utilize the resources in your responders, their engineering, their business people, to come back with the ideas, the approaches, and the costs that they believe will deliver the highest value. Thanks.